Today we're going to be making peanut butter date sweetened cookies, and the recipe comes from Okanami Kitchen. I found her on Pinterest, and these are what they look like. Very excited. This recipe calls for soft dates, but it doesn't say soaked. But I soaked them because I assume that's what she meant. Peanut butter. I'm gonna use one of the dates to get the rest of the peanut butter off because my spatula is just sticking to it. There we go. Dairy-free milk, salt, vanilla. And then we're gonna blend it to a paste. Now, baking powder and rolled oats. Blend it into a flour. Blend. End result looks like this. I love that you can see some date pieces in there still. Salty with a hint of sweet. So she calls for them to be rolled into little balls, but my dough isn't firm enough for that. So I'm just gonna take the heaping tablespoon and I'm just gonna use another spoon to scrape it out. Form them into little nuggets. It says flatten them with a fork, but I'm just gonna do this with my fingers just because I don't want it to stick to my fork. But now we wait. They're looking good. So it's time to taste test. I baked them for 15 minutes and I ended up flipping them over halfway through because they were starting to bake really fast on the bottom. I think it's my pan just because it got really hot, the type of pan that I have. But yeah, and I tasted them when they were not done all the way, but they were still like browning on the bottom, so that's what made me flip them. So it's time to taste test. I baked them for 15 minutes and I ended up flipping them over halfway through because they were starting to bake really fast on the bottom. I think it's my pan just because it got really hot, the type of pan that I have. But yeah, and I tasted them when they were not done all the way, but they were still like browning on the bottom, so that's what made me flip them. Now we taste it. We're gonna get his reaction, so there's no bias, because he's not gonna lie. He won't lie to y'all. Bruno wishes he could taste it.
Vanilla and peanut butter don't go together. It wasn't bad though. It's not that they don't go together. I think the ratios are off.
Yeah. It called for a half a teaspoon of salt. It said it was optional, but I don't really taste anything but salt, peanut butter.
Yeah. You don't taste the vanilla?
I did when I first put it in my mouth.
Oh.
I don't even taste date. Like,
Yeah, I don't taste that either.
I think it was a little too much salt
Yeah.
for me.
The recipe?
Okay, you're touching things and you don't know what you're touching because you're there. There's a lot going on here, obviously.
I see. Less salt for sure.
Yeah.
Do a quarter. Wait.
And I thought about that too.
Wait, what does 1 sea salt mean?
Huh?
It says half a teaspoon of salt and then it says 1 sea salt. What does that mean?
Flaky sea salt sprinkled on top.
You didn't do that.
No, I don't have flaky sea salt.
What is wrong with them?
And it'd be too salty.
They weird.
No, because it calls for chocolate drizzled on top. That would have balanced it out as well. He doesn't like chocolate.
It is the devil's.
Crazy.
Hmm.
But you also don't have chocolate.
Yeah, quarter of salt or no salt. But yeah, quarter.
No, less salt. A quarter. I knew that too. I have a tendency to not follow recipes, and then they don't come out a certain way. But I also have great intuition when it comes to my entire existence. And I knew it was too much salt, but I was like, let's just see.
Did you add salt to the milk?
A pinch.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah. There's a lot of factors here. The milk could have been sweeter.
Yeah, we don't got no agave.
Yeah, we ran out of agave. And maple syrup. I mean, look at the ingredients. Can Bruno have the cookies? I don't know if he can have cashews. Mwah. I'm making banana oat cookies. Shakira, Shakira.